Judging by the apparent doesn't mean that you think evil about people. Yeah? Judging by the apparent doesn't mean that you assume the worst. So, for example,
see the worst.
No, if you see the worst, then that's evidence. Okay? So, for example, look, if you have 4 witnesses of zina, this is proof. That's not talking about judging by the apparent. This is, you've seen the evidence, you've seen the actual crime, and you know that they're guilty. Right? If you have 3 witnesses, it's not. You could say, but okay, I judge by the apparent. Right? No, the point is, it's not proof. Judging by the apparent doesn't mean that you see something dodgy and you assume the worst. That's the opposite of what it means. That's not what it means at all. The example is when Usama bin Zaid, radiallahu anhuma, when he was in the battlefield and he overpowered a mushrik. Rather, in fact, the mushrik was fighting him, kept on fighting him. Once he overpowered him and he was about to strike him, he said, La ilaha illallah. He said, Shahada an la ilaha illallah. Right? Then, so he held back and he left. Then he got up and he started fighting me again. Right? Somebody could clearly say, obviously, this guy is lying. It's not true. He became Muslim, then immediately became kafir again. Then again, Usama bin Zaid overpowered him. He said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah again. So now he held his hand back. He said, what do I do? Then he got up and he fought him again. The third time, he was about to overpower him. He said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, and he killed him anyway. When he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Usama bin Zaid, he looked at this clearly dodgy, suspicious situation, and he said he only said it to save himself from my sword. Anybody will make that judgment. Anybody will say, judging, if those people who misunderstand the topic of judging by the apparent, they will say, well, what else you are supposed to assume about that? The lesson here is the opposite. The Prophet ﷺ, when he said to him, did you open his chest to see if he really meant it or not? What will you do on the day of judgment if this la ilaha illallah comes to you? And he kept on saying that. Usama bin Zayd said, until I felt like I wished I hadn't been Muslim until today. He felt so guilty about it. The lesson from this is we judge by the apparent. Because judging by the apparent means I don't know what's in your heart. I cannot make assumptions about it. I don't know what your intention is. I don't know if you're munafiq in your heart. I don't know if you are intending evil, if you are jealous in your heart, or you're riyah in your heart, showing off in your heart. These are all the matters of the heart. Nobody knows except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All I can see is your tongue and your actions. On your tongue you say La ilaha illallah. I have to judge that as your iman. That's proof that you are Muslim. When people say to you, where's the proof you made kufr bit-taghut? Akhi, La ilaha illallah is the greatest proof of kufr bit-taghut. There's no better statement than La ilaha illallah to prove al-kufr bit-taghut. La ilaha means I reject all taghut. Illallah, only Allah is the one worthy of worship. And this is the highest, most explicit statement. The Prophet ﷺ said that Iman is 70 in some branches. The highest is to say La ilaha illallah. Nobody can compete with this statement. Nobody can ever bring forward a new statement and say, I have a new Shahada for you. And this is more proof that you have kufr and taghut than the Shahada. That's bid'ah. And it's rejected. And it contradicts the clear-cut evidence from Quran and Sunnah.